all muted and may move throughout the agenda, except for the co-chairs and the speakers as we move through the agenda. Following the presentations, as we move through the agenda, the coaches will call members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by pressing the raise hand feature below, and do not press the wave or thumbs up button as those disappear. Do not press the raise hand feature twice or your hand will go back down, of course. If you're calling your phone, press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute yourself. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm a muting once the co-chairs call on you. Chat is available technical support only and not to ask questions of the co-chairs as they will not see the chat. If you are using an older version of Zoom, please make sure to go to React menu, Person menu, or the button where it says more. You will find the raise hand feature there. If you're planning to speak during this meeting, please make sure to rename yourself to your first and last name so we may know who is speaking during the meeting. And please do not raise your hand at the screen or raise your hand as you see the screen, of course, and chat with support, of course.
Thank you, John. And welcome to the Parks and Recreation Committee. I'm Felice Farber. I am co-chair along with Judy Schneider and Bradley Hershenson. Judy, do you want to kick off the meeting?
Sure. And we want to welcome our public members. You were going to do that? I don't know if they're with us tonight yet.
I don't see our public members.
Okay. All right. Maybe we'll do that towards the end. Okay. The first item that we have on tonight's agenda is the artwork on the Park Avenue malls, and Elizabeth Marcella, who is the Senior Public Art Coordinator for New York City Parks Art, is going to present to us. It's all yours. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen in a second. I'll give a very brief introduction. It's been a little while since I've been to CB8. I'm Elizabeth Masella, Senior Public Art Coordinator at NYC Parks, and I oversee the Temporary Public Art Program. We permit temporary public artworks on view for up to 1 year in parks citywide, so all 5 boroughs. Tonight I'm here to share 2 projects on Park Avenue, one that actually opened a few days ago and one that will be opening next month. All the projects on Park Avenue, we work very closely with the Fund for Park Avenue. Amy Sheldon, the executive director, is here. And we also do a very robust engineering review with the MTA Metro North engineering team as the train tunnels are underneath. So with all that being said, I'll share just some information about the projects and welcome any questions. And we'll share my screen if I can find the right window. Okay. Hopefully you can all see this here. So the first project is by an artist named Michelle Okadonor. She lives in New York City. Her project actually is already on view across from the Park Avenue Armory between 66th and 67th. I had reached out last month. I think you had a very full agenda, but nonetheless, I just will share some information about this project with you. It is called Talisman, and I'll share some pictures. It is on a wood platform, has real trees and planters and a number of small sculptures called Talisman from the artist. She says, "Talisman evolved with our species, specifically with consciousness and the resulting gift of imagination. Anyone, anywhere can conjure up a talisman that has meaning for them personally. The talisman who currently reside on Park Avenue draw on both anthropological and mythic references to the inhabitants of our city, ancestral and current. They are urban fireflies lighting up the night. They sway with breezes and move like the wind, like jazz riffs that create a rhythm of their own. Inhabiting a sacred grove, seasonally bare in early spring, then sheltered in a leafy dome as summer ripens. Talisman will continue to change during their residency on Park Avenue Mall." The talisman here are hung in trees here. I'll show a night view as well. This temporary grove is on a wooden platform. The trees are in planters, and then she worked with a company that specializes in trees and gardens to create this kind of temporary forest on the malls. The Talisman do light up using fiber optics, battery-powered fiber optics. This is not a great picture. You're welcome to, it's on view now, as I said, so go and check it out. It's really quite impressive. But you can see these glowing figures in the trees at night. So that is project one. That will be up through the end of October. The next project is not yet installed. This is a series of 10 sculptures on Park Avenue by a Spanish artist named Manolo Paz. This is presented again by the Fund for Park Avenue and Galleria Max Estrella. This will be on view through September. It is a tribute to the artist's formative years living and working in New York and reflects his deep connection to the city. This work aims to transform inert matters into works of art using both industrial materials and concrete and metal and natural materials like granite and wood. These will all be further down in the lower 60s on Park Avenue. The first is a pair of installations from the Cathedral series. These are made out of quartzite and symbolically link the natural timeless beauty of stone with New York's towering skyscrapers, which have come to be regarded as the modern cathedrals of our era. So this is on the south side of the intersection. This is on the north, so similar works. This next piece is called Transparencies. This will be on the mall between 60th and 61st in the mid-mall. Here you see there's 4 squares. There will actually just be 3. And the piece is transparent, so it allows the surrounding cityscape to filter through it. Further up at 62nd on the south side is this work called Blue NASA. It is a variation on the artist's NASA series. The colors correspond with the American flag. These intricate sculptures are designed as 3-dimensional metal grids, and they echo geometric patterns found in New York City streets and buildings. So this one is the blue one at 62nd on the south side. This is on the north side, the white one. And then at the south side of East 63rd Street is one in red. And that is it.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
I can't tell, so I need some help from John or Felice. Is there anyone from the public who has any questions?
No one has their hand up.
Okay, Elizabeth, did you tell us the second one? How long is that going to be up for?
It'll be on view, I think, the second half of April through mid-September. I want to say April 25th will be the official open date, but I don't have my notes in front of me with the exact date.
We wanted an approximation. Okay, you don't need a resolution from us on this.
No, it's just for advisory and informational purposes.
And I'm assuming that you got all the city permissions and everything that you usually do.
Exactly. So MTA engineering review, as well as at least for the one that's on view now, they require DOT permits for the equipment to install it.
Okay.
And can you share your PowerPoint with John?
Yes, I think he linked it in the chat, but I also
did, yes.
emailed it. If you need it, I'm happy to resend it for any reason.
Great, thank you. And I'd like to just welcome Elaine Reitman, who is a new public member for the community board. So welcome, Elaine.
Welcome.
I guess if that's it for me, thank you for having me. And, if any questions later on come up, you feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Thank you. So moving on to an update from the Hospital for Special Surgery on the Kellen Tower and the Esplanade. Brad, do you want to take over with that?
Sure. Let's, if the folks are ready, let's begin.
Yeah,
Let's start with Amy and Jack.
Yeah, and Needy, if you're going to speak, can we unmute her too?
Yeah, FYI, Nidhi and I are sitting in the same room, so
Okay.
If she has anything to say, she'll just yell over my shoulder for you.
Well, no, she can talk. We can unmute her.
It'll create a weird echo since I don't have headphones
Oh,
in, so it's on
okay.
speaker.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can
Jack,
everybody
thank
see
you
the
so
screen?
much. Yeah, I just wanted to say hello to everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us to come talk with you today. I am Amy Nunziata. I am reasonably new to the Hospital for Special Surgery, having been with them for about 8 months now. So I have not been a part of this meeting previously. So Senior Vice President for Facilities Design, Construction, and Planning. So we are delighted to be here, and I am going to hand it over to Jack, who's going to give you an update on the wonderful Esplanade project.
Okay, appreciate that, Amy. So again, for folks who don't know, I'm Jack Wong. I'm joined by my counterpart, Nadine Njapa. We are the project management team representing HSS on this project for both the kind of Esplanade portion of this Callan Tower / Esplanade kind of joint venture. So jumping into this, I'm sure pretty much everybody here is familiar with the project, but as a super high level, we're going to be kind of going through a little bit of the project, its site specifics and its context. We'll be jumping into some of the recent improvements that have been made on site, as well as sharing some upcoming milestones. And then we'll have a little bit of like a Q&A at the end with some of the most pressing questions that kind of wrap this all up and put a neat bow on it. So jumping into this, we essentially are delineating the site between the Esplanade beautification area and the Esplanade restoration area. Those areas are 72nd to 78th Street and then 70th to 72nd Street, respectively. We're continuing to do work along pretty much this entire stretch up until 76th Street. I'll jump into the details on why we're stopping at 76th Street in a minute. But essentially, we're continuing to work and do the improvements as promised to the community for this entire portion. And we're making good progress. So jumping into this kind of plan level view to report out some of the recent work that's been completed. There was a former Con Ed fuel oil pipeline that repair has been complete. There was a sinkhole a pair of sinkholes over on 71st Street that are both completely repaired. There was a sinkhole on 74th Street that was completely repaired, as well as a couple of other topside pieces and underground utility work that's also been completed. We're going to break this up into 3 sort of sections, right? The southernmost section between 70th to 72nd Street. We'll take a little bit of deep dive there. We'll transition into this middle sort of section up until 76th Street, where we'll look in some of the details there. And then lastly, we'll look at this northernmost section between 76th to 78th and look at the details there. Okay, so as we jump to this first slide, again, from 70th Street to 72nd Street, as we mentioned, the sinkhole repairs have been completed by Parks, as well as the temporary paving on the top side here from 70th up to 71st Street. Basically, as soon as you exit the ramp, that area going south, as well as the ramp itself. So we have some good news to report here. We are having a walkthrough with the Parks Department on Tuesday next week to get final approvals to hopefully turn this over to the public in a week or 2. We are anticipating completing the entire 70th to 72nd Street stretch in approximately May. There will be a 2-week shutdown in that, give or take, middle to tail end of May, when the weather is guaranteed to be over kind of 55 degrees, where we can kind of put our final coat of paint on some of these railings, as well as come back in and put our final top layer for pavers. But of course, we don't want to wait until May to turn this portion over. I know many folks in the community have been asking, when is this ramp going to be back open? So hence why we're trying to turn it over as soon as possible, so you can at least enjoy it. And then when we have this 2-week shutdown, we'll be able to turn it over once and for all.
Jack, if I can just interrupt you. The picture number 1 on the left, in the front on the right side is a square patch. What is that patch?
That is this right here. That is a planter bed.
So that's going to be planted with...
I believe there are trees that go along this portion of the, in each of these planter beds, there's a dedicated tree.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, transitioning into this middle sort of section between 73rd to 75th Street. As mentioned, there was a DEP sinkhole here that we worked in conjunction with DEP to help patch. That's since been repaired. As you can see, there are also utility lines being run further up to the north end of the site. And zooming into the, as many of you are familiar with, the Con Ed building, we are going to be putting a new coat of paint on the Con Ed building, as well as improving the traffic safety system that divides the highway from that walkway. Those two pieces are expected to be completed around May, and then the final piece in this kind of section where we'll be able to turn over 76th Street is this drip irrigation system for some of the more intensive planter beds for further north on the site, which we're expected to be complete in July.
Where's the drip irrigation system going?
It is running along the directly underneath the pavers, and it goes directly into the planter beds dedicated to the north and south of the Con Ed building. Yeah, another photo of it is kind of here. You can see how it's running directly along here and goes further up north here.
Thank you.
Is that the building wall we're looking at in that photo? It looks like it's in bad condition.
That's correct. Yeah, that is the Con Edison building that is on site. You can see it a little bit in this photo, a little bit in this photo, and I think the most telling photo would be this before we get mobilized on site,
Right.
this photo right here. So we are going to be putting a new coat of paint on this. We're going to be scraping it, putting a new coat of paint on, since it would be a disservice to just update the paver path and not do anything about that.
What are we looking at? I'm sorry, I'm not following you. In photo 5, what is that?
So photo 5 is a photo looking further north. It's the northernmost portion of the Con Ed building. You can see it right here, as well as one of their gates. You can see work being done to install some of the irrigation lines, as well as some of the conduits that need to run further north on the site to power some of the light poles. And you can see at the very end, it kind of opens back up to the rest of the park.
So we're underneath something there.
That is correct. Con Edison has a overpass connection to their steam generating plant. That's that overpass that you can see if you were to drive on the FDR Drive.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Moving to the northernmost portion of the site, we are working closely with Parks Department for them to finish up their sinkhole repair on the approximately 78th, 77th Street portion right here. You can see the sinkhole demarcated right here, as well as working in tandem with them. As you can see, this area highlighted in purple for their structural improvement project to the seawall. When we get the all clear and that the structural base has been repaired, we're going to be coming in and doing some topside work. Again, similar to what we're doing on the rest of the site, brand new pavers, as well as installing gym equipment, doing our planting work as well. So a couple of questions that kind of sums all this up. When will the 71st Street pedestrian ramp be open? So we're walking with Parks on Tuesday next week. Following that, assuming all goes well, we're expecting to be opening up the pedestrian ramp as well as access to it, hopefully within the next week or two. Why is there another 2-week shutdown needed? Again, this is unfortunately due to the severe weather we've had this past winter. We need to have a consistent 55-degree temperature in order to put the final coat of paint on the railing, as well as install the final topside pavers, since there's an asphalt base that needs a certain temperature in order for it to set. Upon completion of that, we'll be able to turn over all the way up to 72nd Street. Another question is, will the 78th Street pedestrian bridge be affected? So the answer to this one is unfortunately yes. The 78th Street pedestrian bridge, we're anticipating closing it approximately in July. And then again, this is to install those final pavers, the new irrigation for the landscaping that's going to be going over there, the new gym equipment, as well as all the topside work. So working closely with Parks to kind of firm up that date. And then the most pressing question is, when will the Esplanade path between 70th to 78th Street be completely open? And we're anticipating that to be approximately the end of October. I see a couple of hands raised. Marjorie?
Marjorie, wait for the button to unmute. Should pop up.
But yeah,
There you go.
that section by the Con Ed building is going to stay just as narrow as it has always been. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot increase the width of it, but we
Yeah.
are doing our best to improve the safety of it.
Yeah.
As many of you in the community know, if we've walked this path before, it was previously just like a literal single chain link. So God forbid someone was walking with like their dog, or maybe they had a ball with them and it would roll into the road. That issue is going to be addressed. We're installing a DOT approved traffic barrier. It is a mobile barrier. It's a Vulcan gate. So it's going to be crash resistant, approved by DOT. And simultaneously, it's not going to block access for when DOT occasionally does need to move their trucks in and out of the facility.
Okay. And my second question is, I thought I had read or heard previously that some of the pylons holding up the esplanade near the HSS building were rotten because the marine worms had gotten back up the river and they needed to be replaced. And that's why we were getting all these sinkholes. What happened about that? Are they still the old wooden pylons?
Rhett, can you speak to the sinkhole repairs that the parks team had performed at 71st Street?
John, could you help us unmute a rat?
Yes, yes. I'm just trying to find them on here. Sorry. Oh,
There he is.
my bad.
Hey, everybody. Arad Akbor from Parks. Regarding the piles, I believe this section, I don't have any previous drawings, but this section where the 71st Street sinkhole was and all the way up to where we're doing our work is on a concrete gravity wall. So there are no piles that are supporting
Oh,
the
okay.
esplanade.
So
I think it's a little
maybe,
bit further south and then further north sections of the esplanade are supported on piles.
oh, like where the barge has been parked for the last couple of years.
I'm not sure what that is, but I believe, yeah, I know we're doing during my presentation. You'll see we're doing a section of 62nd to 64th. So I know at 62nd, 64th, the Esplanade is on piles there.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll listen. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Jack?
I have a quick question. The 2-week shutdown on the 70th to 72nd area, do you have a sense of when that will be?
Right now we're anticipating in May. We're trying to firm up if it's going to be toward the beginning or toward the tail end of May. We're keeping a close eye on the weather at the moment, but we'll be sure to reach out to everyone who this would affect, including the community board, council member, Speaker Menon's office as well as Friends of East River Esplanade, once we have exact dates. We'll also be updating, of course, the signage that's posted on site when we have exact dates.
But in the meantime, it will be open. It'll just be shut. It'll just be closed for the 2 weeks while you do the painting.
That's correct. Yeah. So again, the walkthrough with parks is taking place between HSS and us between parks and HSS next week on Tuesday. Assuming all goes well and we get approval that area is ready for pedestrian access, we will be opening that portion up, and it will remain open in its current state up until that May shutdown.
Okay, thanks. And then just confirming, so the 78th Street Bridge will be closed while you're doing the pavers and the landscaping. About how long do you think that will be closed for?
So we're anticipating trying to get out there in July. We're working closely with the Parks Department and their ERE Phase 3 team on when we get the kind of the all clear in terms of when it's structurally sound for us to start doing our topside work. Again, we do not want to go in, start putting pavers, encounter another sinkhole or some other unforeseen condition in which we get a lopsided, finished product. And then we'd have to, unfortunately, shut down it again to rectify that. So we want to make sure that, we're working closely with parks to make sure that all structural repairs are correctly completed, and then they'll coordinate with us and we'll come in and do the topside work.
Okay, thank you.
So could we be kind of safe in saying by the end of 2026, the 70s on the Esplanade will be completed, that the work that the hospital is doing?
That is correct. Yeah. We are anticipating being all of our scope here at HSS. We're only working from 70th to 78th Street. We're anticipated to be 100% done by the end of October.
Okay. That's good news. Thank you.
Oh, I see Claire has a question. Claire Garcia.
Hi, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, so I don't have a map in front of me, but I commute, well, I'm trying to commute all the way downtown from the Upper East Side and north. And I think what you're discussing is in the 70s, so let me know if I should direct this to someone else. But is there any coordination with below the 70s? Like I'd like to be able to do what they do on the Upper East Side when I'm on the Upper West Side, when I'm on the Upper West Side, and just stay protected from traffic. Is there any coordination with any other neighborhoods on the Upper East Side so that there will eventually be a path from above 96th Street to well below 32nd?
That might be a question for Parks and possibly DOT.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't answer that question for you, Claire.
Okay, I'm sorry. I get it.
Could somebody repeat that? I didn't hear her question clearly.
I'll repeat it if that's okay. So I commute from way north of Manhattan, and I prefer riding my bicycle on the FDR Drive, which is impossible because it's cut off in so many spots. Below 58th Street or by the Roosevelt Island exit, that's cut off. North of, I want to say, 111th Street, you can't travel north. And I was just wondering if there was any coordination with the other neighborhoods so that eventually the FDR Drive can be rideable all through the east side of Manhattan.
Well, I have to say that we deal with the Esplanade from 59th Street to 96th Street because that's what Community Board 8 covers. So above us is Board 11 and below us is Board 6. So to find out what's happening in those boards, you might want to go to their Parks Committee meetings and find out where they are with the Esplanade. And we're going to hear from the Parks Department next. I don't know if Arette will be able to give you any answers to that question because he's just here tonight to speak to our portion of the Esplanade.
Yeah, I could chime in a little bit. I mean, I can't fully answer that question, but there's another project that Parks is doing between 114th and 117th, which is currently in construction. And I know that section's been closed off for a while. So, once we're complete with that, that would open up at least that section. And I know further down, I guess, I don't know, I forget where it ends now, but after 53rd Street, I don't think there's any more Esplanade to go further down to like the 30s, like you mentioned. So that's kind of all the info I have on that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I see Sheena has her hand up. Maybe she has something to add to this.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So the Esplanade eventually, as I remember this a long time ago when I was in District 10 and 11, eventually it's going to kind of wrap around the city. Eventually, that's the goal. That was the end goal, so you can be able to ride around, and it's been happening in sections. So from I think the next area that's going to be done is over by Thomas Jefferson. But we are currently on 120th, and I think we on 120th. I'm trying to remember the streets as I'm looking at it. Well, we on a portion of the Esplanade that's being done. A great deal of a portion of the Esplanade is being done now. Is being worked on now. And then the next stage will be across from Thomas Jefferson, heading towards 96th Street. So so that section should be worked on, but this is going to take a while to get done. And then they're going to move further up towards 132nd to 145th.
And Thomas
But in those
Jefferson,
stages, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson is located at what street?
112, but it's going to be I'm gonna hope I get this right. 10 on Thomas Jefferson 1012, but the pier is at 10. The pier they're gonna build a pier there at I think it's 106 at the
107.
pier.
107.
107, and that's going to be done. But all of this is going to be done in phases. They're working pretty hard at this area. They're working pretty fast. But yes, eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to be able to ride around or walk around the city, but that's going to take a while to do. But they're doing it in phases, and that's from what I believe. But you can attend. I think District 11 was last night. Their meeting was last night, so you can look at the CB meetings starting next month, and they'll give you the next date that District 11 and District 10 is having a community board meetings. And they should be discussing in those meetings there.
Thank you.
Marjorie has a
Let's
question.
go to Marjorie again.
I just wanted to say, last I heard, going south along the East River is a problem because of the UN. I'm not sure that there's a solution. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. That's all.
Well, they're supposed to be working on that, but again, that's Board 6. So I suggest you go to the Board 6 Parks Committee. Okay, Sheena, do you have something to say about that?
Yes. So there's are some arrangements put in place for some work to be done. I'm going to say this is East River Esplanade, but we call it Glick Park and New Wave. So there's going to be some improvements happening there. But that's in District 6, and I don't have the timeline for it as of yet. But some things are going to happen there soon. So yes, it's coming, but it's not going to happen like right now.
Okay, thank you.
Susan, just click the unmute.
Hi there. Yeah, I just realized something I didn't know. I learned that each section of the Esplanade is governed by the community board district that it sets, and that could lead to different timelines and projects. How is the west side then? It seems have been able to pretty quickly effect the entire walkway so that you could actually go all the way from the tip of Manhattan all the way up past City Line. So what was different there? Is there something we could learn from or model? So,
Yes,
and thank you.
especially if we can get the funding to do our projects more quickly, we could be finished. It's a question of funding comes from different places for different projects.
Yeah, just how they were so able. Thank you.
Because they were able to get the funding to do the work.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you, Jack, and folks from HSS. Really appreciate the presentation and the effort. We're going to hear now from Aret Akbort from the Parks Department if there's an additional update on the Esplanade.
Yep. Let me start sharing my screen. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Looks good.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm Aaron Ackborg from Parks Department Engineering Division. I'm one of the project managers on the East River Esplanade Phase 3 project, which is broken up into 3 sections. The northernmost section is from East 90th to 94th. The middle section is from East 76th to 81st Street. And the further south section is from 62nd to 64th. This is just a little zoomed in here on the East 62nd to 64th Street section. The East 62nd and 64th and the 90th and 94th are very similar in the way they were constructed. They are low-level relieving platforms that are supported by piles, as I mentioned before. And our project is going to go in and basically touch all the piles and repair as necessary. So the piles that are further inshore where divers can't access physically, we are going to pump what they call lightweight concrete underneath there, which this box here on the left side, this box on the left side kind of depicts what we would do there. And each pile, like I said, would get a repair. Some of the typical repairs for the piles would be either a structural concrete encasement, which looks like this, a timber post pile, a non-structural epoxy encasement for the piles that are in a little bit better shape. And this is not a great picture of it, but this is the mass encasement would be a lot bigger, like I said, running along the bents that are closer inland. We're also going to be fixing the face of the seawall with either small repairs or replacing concrete or granite blocks that are missing. Where the outfalls come out, we're going to make sure that any deterioration that's happened, usually the outfalls are pretty problematic and sources of multiple sinkholes we've noticed as we've been progressing through the design here. We're going to have specific repairs around these outfalls. The phase 70, the middle phase 76 between 76 and 81st, where we're overlapping with some of the HSS work, as Jack mentioned, is a concrete gravity seawall. I'll come back to that one. This is a typical section of a seawall. So that's basically a block of concrete that's on the seabed, and at this location we have granite blocks that are kind of protecting the seawall, and those are in bad shape as well. And we will be replacing or rehabbing the precast concrete gravity wall as well as the granite blocks. In all 3 sections, the top side work will be a repair in kind. So where the sea rail is not great, we're going to scrape and paint. Where planting curbs or pavers are broken or loose, or asphalt has been put over as a temporary fix for previous sinkholes, we will be putting in pavers to match the existing condition out there. I believe that's the last slide. Sorry, these were some recycled slides I had from I guess previous PDC presentations. To give an update, the OTW, order to work date for our contract is April 13th. So we're excited that we're going to be starting here in basically a month. We did work out with our contractor to start at the 76th to 81st Street, specifically 76, so that we can do that work, so that HSS can come in and do the top side work. So that's 78th Street or 77th Street sinkhole, which is previously repaired. According to my office, someone informed me that this was repaired actually maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it's starting to come back. We've looked at the seawall just adjacent to it, and it's in very bad shape. So the most probable cause is there is fill that is just being washed out there and causing voids underneath. So we will address that, and hopefully that will be the last time we'll have to see a sinkhole at that location. And hopefully there will be the last time we see sinkholes at these segments that I just mentioned, 3 segments. So, so that's basically the gist of the project.
Do you know what's causing the voids, causing the dirt or whatever to wash out?
Just the tides moving in and out. I guess these like granite blocks have just wear and tear over the years and decades, and that causes the fill or whatever is behind there to soften up and then slowly just wash away. So like I mentioned, we are going to be addressing that as part of this project.
Thank you.
Before we go to the public, I have some questions, Arette. The
Yep.
78th Street sinkhole, I just want you to know, was brought to our attention by Trish Shimamura when she was co-chair of this committee before she became Parks Commissioner. And they did fix it once, and we have a problem again. Now, this is the seawall, but what about underneath it? Are there piers underneath it
No,
that need
this is right
also
on.
to be fixed?
It's laying on the earth.
Pardon?
It lays right on the earth. This is the mud line comes right up to it, and there are no piles underneath this.
Oh, so there's no piling at this location.
Yep. As part of
Okay,
the project too,
now,
there's some areas where they pointed out some scouring, so we'll be addressing that as well. There's some scouring where the mud line and the blocks meet each other. So we've found some of that condition, and we'll be putting in some grout bags to remedy
okay.
that.
So this area is the first area from 76 to 81st that you're taking care of first before you do the other area 1 and area 3.
Correct.
How long is this? You say April 13th is the starting date, you hope. How long approximately is this going to take?
We approximate for 76 to 81st about 10 to 12 months.
So a year.
A year, yeah. The contract will be working from the water. The contract is from access from the water, so we will try not to block off any of the Esplanade access. So if there's a need to for some reason, we will definitely notify everybody beforehand. But as of right now, we are not closing any pedestrian bridges. We're not closing access, north or south of the Esplanade. We may have to fence off a little bit and maybe narrow it a little bit when we do some of the topside work, particularly like the railings and stuff like that. But similar to like what's out there now, where a sinkhole happens, we kind of fence it off. But access, if we can maintain access, even though it's very narrow and not ideal, that's the plan for this project as well. So we don't have any scheduled closures of the Esplanade.
All right. And what about the first phase, 62 to 64th, and then the last phase, 90 to 94? Are those going to be done at the same time? Or are they going to be done separately? And which one is going to be done next? And when do you think you're going to start doing that work?
The contractor is providing the schedule to us in this next couple of weeks. There's no stipulation in the project that they have to do the sites at the same time or in phases. So as soon as we can get that information, I can give you more of an accurate schedule. However, the 62nd, 64th is a little bit smaller section. So we're anticipating less than a year there. And the 90th to 94th, even though it's 4 blocks, it's actually pretty long because it is a curved section. So it is a little bit longer than it looks on here. Is about the same as the 76 to 81st, about 10 to 12 months.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. When you get that, could you please send that to the community board? You don't have to come back and read us the schedule. We can just present it at our next parks meeting to keep people up to date on what's going on the Esplanade, unless there's something special you feel that you have to tell us.
Yep, and pretty constant communication with Steve Simon. So he emails me once a week to get updates.
Yes,
well,
I know.
I'll let him know.
Okay.
So
Are there any other questions from the
if I
public?
could, if I could just jump in with the question, because I'm a little confused on the timeline. So 76 to 81st will take 10 to 12 months. You'll be doing that first. But HSS just said they were doing that area hopefully in July, if I got that correct. And they wanted to do that after you completed the work, to make sure there were no other sinkholes. So the timing doesn't seem consistent. So I'm just wondering what I'm missing in terms of the schedule.
Well, we're going to be starting at 76th, and our overlap is 76 between 78th. So we will start at 76 and work our way north. And once we're past 78th Street, HSS can come in and do their topside work, and we would continue north. And as I mentioned, we would at this point we're not closing any part of the Esplanade, so they would do their paver and topside work, and then I believe they said by I forget October they would be done. And at that point theoretically we would be a little bit further north, maybe towards 79th, 80th Street, doing our seawall repairs at the same time.
Okay. So ideally, they will be in a position you'll have completed 76 to 878th by July, so that there's no further sinkholes and that or subsidence, and that allows HSS to do the topside work.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? I can't see the hands raised.
No hands are raised.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, Arette, thank you very much for coming. This has been a project that we've been hearing for years, and we're glad to hear that it's finally moving along, and we hope the other two parts of it will move along as swiftly as this part is.
Yep.
And actually, before you go, if I could just ask one final question, who's the contractor doing the work?
CAC Industries.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
They're called CAC Industries.
Thank you.
Yep.
And also, if I could go back, Jack, what's the name of your construction company? Can we unmute Jack?
Yes. Okay. Now I'm unmuted. The name of the company that Nidhi and myself work for, or the name of our contractor?
The one that's working for HSS.
Batska Consulting.
Say it again.
Batska Consulting. It's spelled BATSKA.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think
Amy has her hand raised as well. I think she'd like to come off mute.
Oh, by all means. Go ahead, Amy.
Just for clarification, Batska is who Jack and Nidhi work for. Our contractor's name is Padilla, doing the work on the Esplanade, just in case anyone's confused on that. So HSS contracted with Jack and team to do the project management of the construction work.
Oh, project management. Okay.
And the construction contractor's name is Padilla.
Mm-hmm.
And the construction contractor is who?
Padilla.
Padilla. Okay.
Jack, I think I'm going to get this right. Padilla.
Right. Got it.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you for explaining.
Sure.
Okay, if we have, excuse me, if we have no more questions, Sheena, Robert, which one of you would like to go first with your reports? Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
Good evening, Mike. I promise you're going to talk, Mike. Okay, so I have a few updates. St. Catherine's Park, the project is in the post design and it should enter procurement in June. We're working on revised drawing, so we can leave room for the public restroom. For that to come at a later date. So they have to revise it so we can make the scope out the work for the restroom, which is great. We're moving really fast with that, I think. So we got great news for Rubric Park. We are changing the fence height as CB8 requested, and it should be going out for bid soon. I cannot wait for Rubric. 24 Sycamore. The design should be completed at the end of June, and construction will not begin for a year later. And I think that's about all I have.
Did you say
Sorry.
that the design for 24 Sycamore is completed in June?
Yes, that should be yes, and then it'll go out next year, a year later. So we say a year from now.
Okay.
Because after that, it has to go to all the agencies for approval. After the design is complete, right?
Correct.
Hmm.
So we moving good. The great news is Rubric. We got to keep the fence up, which was fantastic. Here and it'll be going out for bid soon. Right.
Well, I have to tell you, that really is the great news, that Parks listened to Community Board 8 and kept all the existing fence heights. I think it's making everybody who uses that park very, very, very happy. And we applaud you for doing that. I see Rita's big smile.
Mm-hmm. Well, our commissioner had a lot to do with that, and that was really nice of her to give the approval. So we thank her for that.
Okay. Let me ask you a question on 24 Sycamores. Anything new on the bathroom there?
No, we're still working on it. It's of course you're aware that it is a funding issue.
Okay. Now I'm going to bring up a new issue, speaking of bathrooms, that needs to be fixed before we get the new bathroom at St. Catherine's Park, the men's room.
So
I understand that the urinal has not worked for more than 6 months.
More than that. That urinal has been out since 2024.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
It's a major problem. They were supposed to take a look at it today to see if replacing the urinal is really not the problem. It's the leaks that happen, and that's a much much bigger job, which is going to cost a lot. And at the moment, we just don't have the funding to really do it. So he's going to take a look at it again. He was supposed to get back to me today, but our plumbers must have got a little tied up today. But he did speak to me about it, and that's why they boarded it up, because it's leaking. The urinal can be perfectly fine, but it'll be a big dig job in order to try to see where the leakage is coming from, and then that might really put the bathroom out totally. So long as I think having the stall at this moment is working, and probably, if this depending on how long this job may take, that could be a bigger issue. So he's gonna look at it again.
Okay.
And he's gonna get back to me. And I don't want to keep the bathroom out of service, just to fix the urinal for it to really go back out again. And we're taking it away from the community when we definitely have the stall to be operable.
Well,
So,
whatever. You'll be there. We're going to meet when the weather gets a little warmer, and maybe we can take a look at it, and maybe they could fix it a little differently so it looked different if we're going to keep it out of order. Okay, it doesn't look look good for the public, so
it doesn't, but it's probably
but that's
the most
something
secure
to be discussed. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions for Sheena? Is Robert here?
Yes, he's there. He's here. I seen him.
Okay. Before we go to Robert, does anyone
I
have
saw
any
Rita and Miles put a hand, not sure. I have a question, Sheena, sort of a
Yes.
question comment. If you could help us with the bin agreement at Carl Schurz, we'd like to finalize that. That would be helpful.
It's not me that's holding it up, right? That has to go through Ken Conyers. I've already spoken with him. I've emailed him 3 times. I'm not quite sure why he's not responding, but I'll give him another call.
Thank you.
But it's not me, right? They have to sign off on it.
Gotcha.
It has to get their approval. I already gave my approval on it. It just have to go through them, and that's the way they have it set up. That it has to, go through those processes, but it shouldn't be a problem. It really shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I could continue with it. It really shouldn't be a problem. Okay.
Great. Let's go to Rita if we can unmute Rita.
I'm just saying thank you, Sheena. Thank you to you and the co-chairs of this committee that this project looks like it's going to happen.
I know, right? I can't wait, Miss Rita.
Excited. Been a long time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being persistent, though, because that's your persistence got it done.
Okay, if that's it, Sheena.
Let's go to Miles and then.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I wanted to say thank you also. It's a lot of really exciting news, especially in regards to the fence. I was there for those meetings, and I think that's a really great example of the collaboration that, we can achieve. So I'm really happy about that. I'm sorry if I might have missed it, but what is the timeline with this St. Catherine's kind of changes? I think I missed it.
What do you mean for the playground to go into construction?
Yes.
So we're hoping it's a year away. We're hoping.
Wow.
We're hoping.
Okay.
I'm not. I would, and then but we're moving pretty fast on it. I have to say. I think we're going in the right direction. It's not it doesn't appear to be a rubric issue. Right. So I think that's for now, it doesn't appear to be that. But St. Catherine is probably it's scope different, right? The landscape of St. Catherine is much different than Rupert.
Yeah.
Rupert has a lot of ups and downs and hills and different situations going on there. So that's why so St. Catherine is to me is on schedule as it should be. We're praying it doesn't turn into a Rubik situation though.
And then can I ask, and I should say recommend maybe, to work with Talent Unlimited High School and the attached middle and elementary school, as that park is, I think, kind of really their lifeblood for a lot of their kids. So I think I don't know if there's any plans to kind of get their intake on maybe certain design aspects of the park, but I think that could be a really
We
good
did
idea.
We already
that.
did.
Can I step in here, Sheena?
I'll make
I
it.
did
Go ahead.
that, Miles. I'm in contact with Josh Satin, who's the
Oh, great.
principal in charge of, he runs all the schools and they have weekly meetings. And every time we've had a meeting on St. Catherine's, he's been informed about it and his people have had input on everything that's gone on up to date. We don't do anything without telling him.
Okay, I think that's
Okay,
fantastic.
so I just want you to know he's always up to date on, and then he has a weekly meeting and he gives the information to the rest of the other principals in the other schools.
Got it. I think that's great. Thank you so much.
Okay, should we move on to Robert McLean?
Yeah, hi, good evening. Can you hear?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. I'll be spending a great deal of time on the Esplanade this year until December. Last year, we had, I think it was collectively 700 volunteer hours And we removed 289 bags of weeds last year on the Esplanade. We were able to weed every single garden twice, and the gardens along the Great Stairs 3 times. So we did a good job. I have between 3 and 5 interns from the day and night high school. And this year, I have a fellow that wants to be a horticulturalist. I'll be training him a little bit more thoroughly in horticulture. And I have him starting tomorrow. And he worked with me last year for 4 months. And we have, let's see, I worked with New York Cares last year. And this year I have 100 volunteers over 3 dates from New York Cares, and they're going to be working on the Esplanade. And we have an event on May 21st, June 2nd, and June 24th. And with the 100 volunteers, there's a little bit more than $6,000 that they're giving me to purchase plants. And then I'm also working with the Green Park Gardeners. They're working with me also. So far, I have 75 volunteers over 3 dates. That would be April 17th, the 24th, and there's another one scheduled for mid-May. And the Green Gardeners also helped me last year. So we were able to do all the work on the Esplanade with no or very little plant death. So I'm going to try to do it again this year. So I'll be down there at least 2 days a week. So, but I'll give you more information as we get going.
Well, thank you very much for looking after that. We really appreciate it. Are there any questions, Felice? Can you see, does anyone
I do
have a
not see
hand?
any hands raised.
Okay, before we close down the meeting, I just wanted to, in case people did not see in one of the local newspapers, Patch or whatever, the mayor or the city council, whatever, money was given to various parks. $850,000 was given to reconstruct and modernize the Seabury Playground, addressing safety and accessibility issues to create a resilient, inclusive recreational space for Upper East Side families. $850,000 to repair and improve pedestrian pathways throughout Central Park, enhancing safety, accessibility, and infrastructure, resilience in one of the nation's most visited public parks. And this isn't a park, but since I'm mentioning monies, $250,000 was given to modernize the Roosevelt Island tram through structural updates, improving accessibility features, and enhancing safety systems, ensuring continued reliable transit service. So I think it's really nice to hear when some of our parks are getting money for improvement. It doesn't happen very often, and I know we need a lot more parks workers, and the money isn't in the budget. So this was very nice. When I read this, I thought everybody might like to hear it.
And thanks to Congressman Jerry Nadler.
Yes, oh, right. That was Jerry Nadler who did that. You're right. Thank you, Felice.
And we have one hand raised.
Yes, hi. My name is Maria Kessler, and I'm the executive director of the Friends of the East River Esplanade. So I've been listening attentively and want to thank everyone involved with all the progress going on. Thank you to Sheena and Robert for the great care that they put in as well. We are beginning to activate bringing the community out to the Esplanade. We'll begin all of our public programming very soon. More specifically, we have a big live music event planned for April 19th. And then it's family friendly. So a lot of kids, a lot of families. It's free. We have another one May 16th and another one June 14th. I can share, I believe I've shared all the public programming with CB8, but I will continue to share that out. But I just want to say again, thank you, because this is long. There are lots of pieces, and just thank you to everyone involved.
Thank you, Maria. If there are no other questions or comments, is there a motion to adjourn? Rita, and second? Okay, so thank you, everybody, and we're adjourned.
Have a good night.
Thank you all.